Just cut up some comb honey today. Not a big crop, actually a pretty small crop of comb honey for 2025, but it was enough to justify getting the pans out here, the trays out to cut it up. It's pretty nice. I do the 2x4, I have 4x4 cutter as well, but 2x4 seems to be what's hot on the market, so we cut it up. I end up with about 1,000 cuts this year. It's probably. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's my first video I think for this year, 2025, and no better time than now, so that's why I figured I'd get the camera out here and just show you guys how we get our supers ready for winter. I'm in a yard with about 1,200 mediums. There's some deeps in here too. Well, actually there's some shallows, but 1,200 of our supers, and some friend of mine, we ran some honey through their equipment this year. Regardless, what I like to do is just stack everything up. We can we'll put about 150 supers, 160 supers out every time we extract. We bring them over and drop them on the pallets, and I stack them up about 10 tall, 10 high, and about halfway up the stack we like to offset the supers just to let the bees work the middle of the stack, and they can get through the bottom pretty quickly. Point is though, they can get through these stacks of wet equipment pretty quickly, and as the weather cools off we start to get some hard frosts. Everything gets killed off for moths, and actually that's another thing, I've never had any damage for moths letting these supers stick out here for a few months. I know some people like to put all their stuff up above their bees, but when you run an operation where you have thousands of supers, that's just not practical. So putting them out all in one spot like this, where the bees can work them and keep them, clean them up, it's just really practical and handy. We have a bee yard just right on the other side of the tree line here, and so that yard finds its way over here and does a good job at cleaning all these combs out. It was a good year for honey. For me, it started off like as a cold, damp spring really, lots of rain and cool temperatures. It was really frustrating because some of the bees, some of the colonies just weren't really building up. So it was a little trying, just wondering what type of a year it was going to be with bees well into June that just were kind of hanging out. They weren't really expanding the brood nests much. They weren't really getting up in the first round of supers. So there was a modest light flow of honey coming in from May and into June, and usually by June we're seeing supers fill up in good fashion, and this year it just didn't work out that way. But the weather did change in July. About the first part of July it got hot and humid, and we had all that rain in the ground, and things took off like a rocket, and the honey gate was wide open at that point. We started getting a lot of bees were making a lot of honey, and we just started piling the supers on, and it was just really fun. It was like an old-fashioned honey flow, watching the bees fill the supers and coming back every week, 2 weeks, to nice white cappings and them just looking for more room. We got out most of the supers this year, and most of them did get filled up, so it was a good crop. Like I said, we did have a couple yards that didn't really produce, but I'm thankful for what we did get. Bees overall look pretty good going into the fall. We're doing a little bit of feeding now. It's the last day of September. We'll get the last bit of feeding done here this week. My objective is to have all the syrup in the bees here before the first few weeks of October. It just gets too cold for them to ripen it, so we try to get it on while they can and get it where they need it. And we're doing, like I said, a little bit of feeding, not a lot, so that's really nice. Despite how dry it's been, the fall flow up here has been productive. I didn't put any supers back on the bees to harvest a fall crop. We left everything on the bees, and I'm glad I did, because what they did secure is just enough for most of them to get away without having me to feed them, and that's always nice if I don't have to buy pallets of sugar. So anyways, hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while. Hope to get a few more videos out this fall. I've been getting some requests for the division board feeders that I use in the nucleus colonies, so I'll see if I can get a video just showing you guys how that's made, the parts to it. It's really simple, but for the sake of I guess making another video and to help you guys out in your endeavors with bees, I'll see if I can motivate myself to show you guys how to do that.